guys, welcome to this video lesson on how to legally protect your digital products without having to hire an expensive lawyer or waste valuable time. Before we get started, I want to start with this powerful quote that I put together, which is that legal is the glue that holds your business together. I know this firsthand because if you don't have a strong legal foundation for your business, no matter what is it that you're doing, whether you're blogging, whether you're selling digital products, or any other kind of business that you have, you could run into a lot of legal issues if you don't have a strong foundation. And I know this firsthand because I watched my dad's business get sued, unfortunately, for $90,000 for a simple legal mistake that could have been avoided. I wasn't a lawyer yet, because if I was, I would have put some sense into him. But this is the reason that I became a lawyer in the first place, and particularly a business lawyer, because I watched my dad face that big lawsuit that lasted for over a year, $90,000. And I wanted to help other entrepreneurs from making the same legal mistakes that my dad did. Now, working as a lawyer for more than 10 years, I've had the honor of helping over thousands of entrepreneurs feel safe and protected about their businesses, whether working with me one-on-one or grabbing any of my legal templates or bundles that I put together. And my name, I should have mentioned that from the beginning, is Amira Irfan. I am the business lawyer, blogger, and coach behind asoftgrew.com. And as you could see, this is me on TV talking about legal protection for business owners. And to learn more about me, simply visit my press page or work with me page or about page on my website, where you can get lots of legal tips and also tons of helpful information. Now, I started my online business while working full-time as a lawyer during the day, and then blogging at nights and weekends. So in my first year of business, I made 6 figures while working full-time as a lawyer, and then eventually took it to 7 figures. And then now I help other entrepreneurs make money online, as well as teach you how to make sure that your business is legal and protected. So raise your hand. I have a question. If you've ever felt, or comment in the chat, yes, if you've ever felt confused, frustrated, or intimidated by the legal side of the business, and you have no idea how to legally protect your products or your business. So today I'm here to take away all of that legal overwhelm, because I know that, and I hear this from entrepreneurs all the time, that they're very confused, frustrated with the legal side of their business and intimidated. So we're going to try to make all of that easy by empowering you and giving you valuable information and actionable tips that you can implement in your business to be protected. So we're going to cover 4 easy ways for you to be legally protected and your digital products, whether it's printables, ebooks, courses, or anything else that you are creating. We're going to talk about the importance of privacy policy and why you need it, also copyright notice, copyright law, disclaimer and disclosures, terms and conditions for your digital products, and also bonus legal tip in general for your business or anything that you create. Try to make it compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act, and some of the big reasons why you need to do this, as well as some common misconceptions that I have seen people have over the years, and how to easily create these legal documents to give you complete peace of mind and protection. The first step is, why is all this important? Well, according to the recent Small Business Administration survey, 53% of business owners face a lawsuit every year, guys. I mean, that's really troubling. And then on top of that, 45% of small businesses are currently involved in litigation. 90% of business owners face a lawsuit at some point in their existence, and approximately 12 million lawsuits are filed against small businesses. And a typical lawsuit will cost you at least $54,000. And in our case, in my dad's business, when he got sued, it cost us $90,000. So it's a lot of money to lose, and it's a lot to lose. So, and over the years, working as a lawyer, I've seen hundreds and thousands of entrepreneurs get sued for legal mistakes and not having proper legal documents in their business or legal pages on their site and so forth. So you just want to make sure that you do things the right way. Now, my legal disclaimer for this lesson, I am a lawyer by profession, but I'm not your lawyer. And this lesson is really for informational educational purposes only, and it doesn't constitute legal advice. And we're going to talk about disclaimers for your business too, and that why they're so important. So let's kind of begin with talking about the 4 ways to legally protect your digital products and some of the mistakes that you can avoid. And if you have made one of these mistakes, I want you to tell me that in the comments so I can understand, where you're coming from and if you've ever made this mistake. The first one is not having a privacy policy on your website. So if you're going to sell any kind of products, or if you're not going to sell any kind of products, either way, what you need is a privacy policy on your website that informs the people who visit your site or your customers that purchase from you what information you're collecting from them and how are you going to use it. Some of the examples of personal information are, for example, let's say I want to buy some printables from your site, and I've just come onto your site to make a purchase. I have just given you my email address. I've given you my credit card information. I've given you my name and so forth, right? So I've given you personal information, but I have the legal right to know what are you going to do with this information? How are you going to use it? And so that's why you put all of this important information into that legal document, what's called privacy policy, and you let people know what you're going to do with their information. And you have to have this policy, because if you don't, then you risk getting sued, you risk getting audited and fined by the Federal Trade Commission. And here are some examples, because the Federal Trade Commission is the agency that regulates consumer privacy, and they take this stuff very seriously, guys. And a lot of companies, and small to big, have gotten in legal trouble for not having proper privacy policies or just not maintaining customer data and so forth, as you can see all of these cases here. So you definitely want to avoid having any of those issues in your business. The other important thing to keep in mind, and I'm sure you've heard about this, is a privacy law, which is really tough, is GDPR. If you've heard about it, definitely comment below and let me know. GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. It comes from the EU. So it applies to you whether you live in the EU or whether you live outside. It's one of the toughest privacy laws out there, and it applies to you no matter where you are. And if you don't comply with it, you have serious penalties to face, such as $20 million or 4% of your revenue. And then the other privacy law that you have to be worried about is called CCPA. It's called California Consumer Privacy Act. It gives special rights to people from California regarding how their personal information and data should be used. And you have to specify and outline all of that in your privacy policy. And again, the penalty for non-compliance with this law is also significant. We're talking thousands of dollars per violation. So the next question that I often get, and if you have a question, let me know, but one of the common questions I get is, Amira, okay, where do I post the privacy policy? It's always in the footer section of your website and your sales page. So a good business practice is that if you are not selling anything, then you post it on your site. But if you are selling something, then you post it on your website as well as on your sales page. So it's in both places where you're collecting personal information from people. The second mistake I see bloggers and entrepreneurs making is that not including a copyright notice in their digital products. Now, a copyright page is an absolute necessity. It really tells the people who purchase from you that you are the owner of the work that you've created, that they're not permitted to reuse it or publish it without your explicit consent, written consent. And it really helps stop plagiarism and having other people profit from your hard work. So make sure that you always have a copyright notice in your digital products. And also under copyright law, if you create something original of your own that you're selling, then you are the copyright owner of it. So if someone else wants to use that information or resell it or republish or share, they need actual permission from you. Otherwise, they risk facing copyright infringement lawsuits and so forth. So the next question is that you may be wondering, well, what should I include in a copyright notice? This is a really common question. So I've given you some of the important elements that should be in there. So kind of let's go over them. And then I've also given you the final product, which is my example here from my site. So first you want to include the copyright notice itself, the symbol or the word copyright or both. And then you include the publication year, right? So when the work was created, if it's a product or if it's your website, and then the name. So either the owner's name or the business name. So in my case, the business name. And then all rights reserved language right after that here. So it explains to the person reading that, hey, they cannot reproduce this work. And then if you are selling a book, for example, ebook or printed copy of the book, then the ISBN number, or if you have one, and then any other rights or permissions that you're giving to the purchaser or the reader, your trademark notice, like in my case, the R here, if it is trademarked, your name, your business name, I mean, and then your website. If you have, for example, if you have a if this was going in a digital product and I wanted them to also be able to access my website, then I would add somewhere here my website information as well, or the hyperlink and so forth. So that's generally kind of how the end product looks. For you need this copyright notice in both your digital products as well as on your website. If it's a digital product, then like I said, you would revise this a little bit more to include the website link and so forth, and some of the additional rights and permissions language. But if it's just for website, then it'll be something like that. Now, another bonus legal tip I have for you for digital products is to use watermarks. Watermarks are a great way to protect your printable because it makes it harder for the other person to steal your work, because they won't be able to use it without the watermark. And it just helps deter people from stealing or copying your work without permission. The third legal mistake that you want to avoid is not having a disclaimer on your site and also in your digital product. So you need both. You need them in both places. It really protects you from legal liability. The whole premise behind a disclaimer is just the way it sounds. Disclaim legal liability for the content that you share in your products. So for example, if you're sharing an ebook, or if you are creating a course or any of the digital product, you're sharing a lot of valuable information and you don't know how that information can be used against you. And someone could bring a legal claim for damages if they relied on that information and suffered a negative consequence. So that's why having a disclaimer is going to protect you from legal liability. Another example is that oftentimes, as content creators, we share affiliate links and we make recommendations for other people's products in our products, right? So you have no idea how that affiliate link recommendation could be taken by the other side, and they could suffer a negative consequence, and they could again come after you for damages. So you want to put all of these disclaimers in your products as well as on your site to limit your legal liability. Especially, another example, like if you're in the medical, personal finance, or no matter what niche you're in, you want to tailor your disclaimer to that niche to make sure that you're protected. The other thing to keep in mind is that the Federal Trade Commission, the same agency that we just talked about privacy regulation, also ensures compliance with, the affiliate links and affiliate disclosures. So for example, if you're going to be sharing affiliate links in your blog post or in your products to make money, you need to comply with the Federal Trade Commission rules and give proper affiliate disclosures. So I walk you through all of that in more detail in this blog post on my site. If you just click in the slides, you can visit it to learn more, because I go over it in a lot more detail there. But in a nutshell, what you have to do is you have to have affiliate disclosures anytime you're going to share affiliate links in your course or your printables or your ebooks and so forth. So what are affiliate disclosures? Affiliate disclosures are like, if you are going to make money from affiliate links, meaning you recommend a product and you're going to earn a commission if someone purchases from your link, then you have to give an affiliate disclosure. So this means that if you're going to share affiliate links in a blog post, social media post, your products, your digital products, even your email list, You have to give affiliate disclosures. There's no exception to this rule. And there are 4 steps to write a proper disclosure. For example, make the people very clear to the reader that, hey, you're going to receive some sort of compensation. You don't have to specify the exact amount because it varies from company to company, but you do have to put them on notice saying that you're going to receive some financial compensation and that it doesn't really influence your decision or your recommendation. And that if it's an affiliate link, you need to let them know it's an affiliate link. If it's a sponsored post, you have to let them know it's a sponsored post, and so forth. So in the end, this is a sample language that you could use, and this is how it looks. So if you're going to share affiliate links, then you need to clarify that, hey, this course or this ebook or this blog post or this printable may contain affiliate links, which means that I will earn a small commission if you purchase through my link. Please see full disclosure for more information. And then this is really important. Then make sure that you link to your full disclaimer policy on your website right here. So you use this in your blog post, in your digital products, but then in the end, you need to have that disclaimer page, as I talked about in the beginning, on your website as well in the footer section that you link to. Make sense? And then what could go wrong without a disclaimer or disclosure? Obviously, you could be sued, you could be fined, you could be audited by the Federal Trade Commission. So you definitely want to avoid all this. And the reality is that a lot of people, they look out for opportunities like this. They look out for someone who doesn't have these things in place, and then they could file a lawsuit and they are hoping to get a good payout, So it's not worth it in the end to pay those legal fees and to face those legal issues. And honestly, there's no reason not to have a disclaimer or disclosure in place. It just makes you look like a professional. It's someone who knows what they're doing instead of someone who's just an amateur and doesn't value their business enough to protect it legally. Any questions so far? Let me know in the comments. Another question I get is, do I need to include the disclaimer on my website as well as in my digital products? So I kind of already answered that earlier. Yes, you need to have it in both places. In fact, in your digital products, you're going to link it back to your website and for the full disclaimer policy. And you're also, for the website one, you definitely need it. You don't need to link it anywhere, but you just need to have it in the footer section. And you also need to include your Federal Trade Commission affiliate disclosures as part of the disclaimer page that you're going to have. Now, the third legal mistake I see entrepreneurs making is not having terms and conditions. So as a blogger, you may have heard of them as terms of use, terms of service, terms of purchase. The terms and conditions are the legal contract between you and the people who visit your site or the people who purchase from you. So they really help protect your intellectual property from getting stolen. It highlights all your intellectual property provisions, that what people can or cannot do with your photos or your content. It also helps resolve legal disputes. For example, if you get into a legal dispute or trouble with your customer, then you want to be able to resolve it amicably and in the most cost-effective manner. So for example, if I live in Florida and I want to clearly identify in my terms and conditions that legal disputes will take place in Florida or will be resolved in Florida. So you need to put all of that in your terms and conditions. And this is also the legal page that's so important for your products because it outlines your refund, your exchange policies, so that you avoid those disputes with the customers. And then to learn more, I have a helpful blog post here strictly on how to write terms and conditions. Also kind of shows you in more depth that what are some of the things that you should have, some of the elements that you should have in your terms and conditions, as well as a template for you provided and so forth. Okay. So the next question is that what are the 4 big reasons why it's so important to have terms and conditions for your digital products? Number 1, to avoid legal mistakes, disputes, or issues with your students, with your customers. Number 2, to protect your intellectual property from being stolen. Number 3, to clearly outline how your material, how your product should be used so that there is no confusion, and to avoid any refunds and exchanges and so forth. Because I'll give you an example. There was someone I knew in the blogging world, and she was selling a course, and it was like $1,000 course, and she didn't have terms and conditions. And she ended up having to issue a refund for that $1,000 because she didn't have terms and conditions, you know? So if she did, she could have saved that money. The next thing is it's really important to make sure that your customers click to accept your terms and conditions. It's not enough to just post them on the sales page or post them on your website. You need to have a method for your customers to click to accept them before they make the purchase. So I'm showing you an example right here from my own sales page. So anytime someone makes a purchase from you, before they proceed with entering their information and the sale actually happens, they have to click right here acknowledging that they have read and accepted my terms and conditions. And this is the way that you bind them to your terms and conditions. And this is kind of what you want to do in your business as well. So bonus legal tip, make sure that your digital products are also accessible to people with disabilities. So Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as ADA, it prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities. And it's not just a requirement under the ADA in the US, but there are additional accessibility laws that we're getting aware of now in the last couple of years, where they're subjecting you to discrimination lawsuits. Your website can be sued for not complying with the Americans with Disabilities Act, or even accessibility lawsuits in the UK, Canada, Australia, European Union, and other countries. And there are international guidelines and standards that you should follow to prevent these lawsuits. And some of the common ones that we already know are like adding alt text. It has become even more important now to make sure that you add alt text to the images so that people can, so that people can understand what the image is about, especially people who can't see. And then also add subtitles and captions to make sure that your videos are easily consumable and people can understand your content. But this is just kind of the high level stuff. I wanted you to be aware of the fact that you do have to comply with this law as well, especially if you have a website. But to learn more, you can definitely visit my website or get in touch and get the legal bundle, or just visit my site to learn more about how to comply with this law. Now, there's 6 big reasons why you need to have these legal documents. The number 1 is self-explanatory, to avoid lawsuits. Number 2, comply with the laws, privacy laws, Federal Trade Commission laws, and so forth. Required for ad networks, some affiliate programs, protect your intellectual property, outline your website rules, disclose your affiliate relationships, and honestly, most importantly, to look like a professional and protect your digital products and business. So some of the misconceptions, I want to quickly go over these, and also keeping in mind the time, right? So number 1 thing I hear from people is that, well, do I really need a privacy policy if I'm not even making any money from my blog or my business? The truth is that it doesn't matter whether you're making money or not. It's a legally required document, so you should absolutely have it on your site before you launch it. It's required by law, and we talked about those rules here. You can click to learn more. The second thing I hear is, I'm a small fish, so who's going to sue me? I'm going to break it to you. It doesn't matter what size of your business it is to get in legal trouble. When my dad's business got sued, he was in his 2nd year of business. So he was a fairly new entrepreneur, and he was certainly not making even $90,000 a year when he got sued, but that's the amount that he got sued for. And the legal battle lasted an entire year, leaving us financially and emotionally devastated. Even the last lawsuit I helped a client settle was for $500,000, where her intellectual property was compromised and we had to sue the infringer. Then another client made a mistake of copying someone's content, and she ended up owing $8,000 for using someone's photo without permission. And there's so many examples like that here. Another client losing $5,000 because she didn't have a refund exchange policy. Dolce & Gabbana here suing 2 bloggers for $600 million. So guys, again, my point here is that it's better to be safe than sorry. Another misconception is that I'll just grab a free legal template from online and post it on my site. This is another big legal mistake I see new bloggers or entrepreneurs make. think that a free legal template is legally sufficient, but is always missing key legal provisions, exposing you and your business at risk. First, you have no idea who put together the free template. You don't even know if it was ever reviewed or written by a lawyer. Number three, it's going to cost you a lot more in the long run when you get into a legal issue and then the lawyer has to clean up the mess. And the free legal templates are never ever compliant with the laws out there. They're never up to date and they don't hold up in court. And I also have a helpful blog post here from 50 different savvy entrepreneurs who just don't trust free legal templates to protect their businesses. So you can learn more in that blog post as to what their reasons were. All right, so next thing is the question that you may be asking is that, okay, so how do I create these legal documents, whether it's the copyright notice or disclaimer for my digital product, or whether it's a website privacy policy or terms and conditions and so forth. So you have two options. Number one, you could always hire a lawyer to custom write these documents for you. So they're tailored to your specific business. And that really leaves no room for error, because the lawyer is going to review everything. And yeah, you're going to pay the price. I mean, it's going to be the more costly option, but at least it's going to give you the complete peace of mind, right? The second option is to purchase legal templates from a lawyer like me or anybody else to get the same lawyer level protection without the hefty legal fees. So I offer both options, but my point is that you have both of these options available to you, right? To kind of see which one works best for your specific needs and your business. Now, with that said, I have a freebie for you. I have a free legal guide that you can instantly download to avoid making the 3 big legal mistakes I see bloggers and entrepreneurs making in their business. So we're going to talk in a lot more detail about these legal mistakes and as well as the solutions that you can implement. Simply click here to get that freebie. If you click there, it's going to take you to this page. You just enter your name and your email and we'll send you the free legal guide right away. So going back to the next thing. Okay, so now I just want to quickly thank you for your time. I want you also to take a moment to pat yourself on the back, because we covered a lot of good stuff in this video lesson, and you know now how to protect your business, your digital products, courses, ebooks, printables. So definitely take advantage of the free legal guide to avoid more costly legal mistakes. And I can't wait for you to be a legally protected entrepreneur. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with me in my Facebook group, post them there. You can get in touch with me on my YouTube channel, my website, Instagram. All the different ways to connect with me are right here. And if you have any questions, let me know. I can't wait to help you out with the legal side of your business. And thank you so much for being with me here today. And I will see you guys next time.